Well, that was easy.
Huh? Hey everybody, and welcome back to Benny and Leon. On today's episode, we're checking out Race 3 from the Historic Racing Car Club's Historic Queensland event. Hopefully you noticed in that first little clip that the car actually started alright. Stay tuned for the next time that it tries to start on the dummy grid, and the panic that ensues, and the frustration, and just, you know, race car life, dare I say it. I just want to tie up one loose end before we get to the video. If you're watching race 2, you would have seen that the yellow Mustang went heavily into the wall at turn 2. That driver was seriously injured from that accident, and I guess it brings home for me as a driver and the other guys that what we do is very dangerous. We're in old cars, we got terrible braking systems, we got a lot of horsepower, and you know, sometimes things go wrong, whether it be a mechanical issue or even a driver error can put you in the wall. So that driver's now recovering, thankfully, but as you can understand, it's something that we never want to see. Moving on to today's episode, we're just starting to crank that level up. You know, we want to be at level 11, cranking it to 11 by race 5. So, you know, at race 3, we have a massive battle with the Monaro, and we're starting to get really good at working our way back through the pack again. I guess you get that on the big jobs, hey. Enough of me talking, let's get to this live action.
Fucking reminder that you probably don't get all that often. The fucking transponder's not yours!
I know.
If it was me, I'd drive off with it.
Can you just hold the car from rolling so I can get my foot on the gas? Hold the car from rolling.
Oh, yeah, okay. Jump box now or what?
It's nearly gonna go, fuck! Yeah, jump box it, quick, I got my foot on the brake. Fuck me!
Not yet, not yet.
Pissed me off. Doing this all the time. It's
there you
right.
go. Close. Well, we're not allowed to, are we? Okay.
Go.
Gonna push you.
Start the back, that's like you can't get through. Oh, you're swallowing this now, dude. One more.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just pause it there. Obviously the car didn't want to start, but it started through a bump start, which meant that when I wasn't using the starter motor, it wasn't drawing the battery low, which meant that ultimately we'd now found our problem. Starter motor, cactus. So that was the good part. The bad part is I'm now lining up from pit lane once again with cold tyres, with cold brakes, and with tyres that have pickup on them. Now pickup is when you're on the cool down lap, you know, you're trying to avoid the edges of the racetrack. There's a lot of stones and stuff, and there's a lot of old rubber that's been discarded, so we call it marbles. When your tyres are super hot and you run over any of that, say if you're coming into pit lane or cruising back to your pit area, your tyres are going to pick it all up. So every time you come back to pit, you know, you're basically ending up with a whole bunch of rubbish on your tyres. So that's what we do in the first lap, you know, the warm-up lap, is that you're not only warming up brakes, tyres, differentials, transmissions, engines, but you're also scrubbing the tyre of all the rubbish because it's super slippery. And you'll find that also when someone goes off the track and they might put a wheel off or something, you're also going to have that pickup effect. So generally the next corner that you turn into will also be slow. So if you've ever seen a race driver do that, it's exactly the same thing. So essentially now I'm starting from pit lane. I'm hoping that I don't have a fire truck between me and the back of the pack. But ultimately I'm giving the pack essentially like a 10-second head start. Now, in motorsport, seconds, tenths of seconds, you know, thousands of seconds matter, and we've just given it away. They say that races are won sometimes in the garage, and I would believe for this weekend that that's complete truth. I'd spent 1,000 hours on this car, but we still turned up to the track and had weird issues. Sometimes the racing gods don't really shine on you, and that's the way it goes, and you know, you've just got to deal with it as best we can. So I put the red mist on. I was angry. I was ready to send it. So let's see how that pans out.
Same again. Oh man, I can't catch a break. It started fine in the pit, started fine, you know, like...
When the light goes, watch Josh and he'll tell you what to do.
Yeah, I'm ready, I've got it.
race number 3, that big Monaro couldn't have got any wider, could it? He was loose all over the shop and using up every inch of road. There wasn't that gap. Ayrton Senna wouldn't have been proud with me if I had sung it down the gap and run into someone. So that's the way it goes sometimes. Fair play to the big cars. They slow us mid-corner. We can't get the run on them, then they use that horsepower down the straight. It's all part of the game. You've got to earn those positions. That's it from us today. Race 4 is coming up next week. Another massive battle with an XY GT, but not the red one this time. We've set our sights on a certain blue GT with a checkered bonnet, driven by a man who looks like D'Artagnan. He's got the best mustache I think I've ever seen. I know you're all probably just hanging in suspense right now, but I'm sorry, I don't have the video done yet, so you can't see it. So until then, have a good week, and stay cool, Led Jones.